Happy Monday, everybody. Harrison Graham here with another episode of Chicago Bears Now. Today, we are presented by Manscaped. Get 20% off plus free shipping for all of their men's grooming products, including the brand new Ultra Premium Collection, which I will tell you about a little bit more in further detail later on in the show. 20% off plus free shipping, manscaped.com. Promo code is Bears20 for that 20% off. Okay, let's get into today's Bears rumors roundup. How about trading Robert Quinn? Could this happen? I'm going to go two smoking Jays. People are talking. I think it's at least a possibility at this point based on a couple of reasons, right? The most recent reason being that Chicago did sign Al-Quadin Muhammad, who is a Matt Eberflus guy. He comes over from Indianapolis, 2 years, $12 million deal, had 6 sacks last year. And now when you look at that defensive end position, you've got 3 guys that I think are worthy of starting. And Robert Quinn, Al-Quadin Muhammad, and Trevis Gipson, who I want to see start this year and personally. I think he's a guy that has big potential, has double-digit sack potential, and I'd like to see him start. And Al-Quadin Muhammad's a starting caliber player, so that could open the door to trade Robert Quinn. Look, we know that Ryan Poles isn't scared to make a trade. He already traded Khalil Mack. Could he also trade Robert Quinn? I'd consider it if I got another day 2 pick out of it. You got a second-round pick for Mack. Could you get a second-round pick for Quinn? Could you get a third-round pick, which is considered a day 2 pick? For anyone who doesn't know a day 2 pick, I'm talking about the NFL draft, day 2 of the draft, second, third round. Day 1's first round, day 2, second and third round, day 3 is 4th through 7th. If I can get a second or third-round pick for Robert Quinn, that's something I would consider if I was Chicago. And the main reason I would is that, don't get me wrong, Robert Quinn was special last year. He was one of the top 5 or 10 defensive players in the NFL. Had 18.5 sacks, 17 TFLs, 4 forced fumbles. He was an absolute menace rushing the passer, but he's he's also going to be 32 this year. His value will never be higher than it is right now for the remainder of his career. He's in his 30s. Chances of him repeating that season are very slim. Now, could he give you 10 to 12, 13 sacks? It's possible, but it's also possible he gets injured or he has 5 or 6 sacks because, the year before he basically gave you no production. So if you're going to trade him this offseason. If not, you're probably never going to get much value for him. I'm not saying force a trade, but if someone offers a top 75 pick for him, that is something I would certainly consider. Would you trade Robert Quinn for a day 2 NFL draft pick? Type T for trade, you would. Type K for keep, no, you want to keep him for at least one more year. Get your votes in down in the comments. This will be the pinned comment on today's video, so if this YouTube ad break hits, we will have more on this idea after the break. You look at the depth chart now for Chicago, and like I mentioned, Robert Quinn, Trevis Gipson, Al-Quadin Muhammad, Mario Edwards Jr. has been a productive player for this team the past couple of years as well. You've got 4 defensive ends. Jeremiah Tacho, I think he's a guy who can give you some snaps as a rotation guy. Can Charles Snowden give you something? Maybe. Obviously, defensive tackle's a spot to address moving forward as well. I think Justin Jones will start, but probably need one more piece in there. But the point being with Robert Quinn, you trade him, you clear out about $4.5 million in cap space. If you can get another day 2 pick, then that gives you 4 picks on day 2, 2 seconds. Maybe this one's a third, 2/3. Gives you some ammunition if you want to move up. Also gives you some volume on that second day of the NFL draft if you want to stand pat. It gives you some flexibility. Again, I'm not forcing it. I'm not going to trade him for a 5th-round pick or something like that. But if the calls come, if a veteran team that's trying to go chase a championship says, hey, we'll give you the 60th pick for Robert Quinn, hey, I'd consider it, man. I'm just saying I would consider it, and I think now that you've signed Al-Quadin Muhammad, it's at least a possibility because you've got 3 starting caliber defensive ends, and obviously only 2 are going to be able to start. Now, subscribe to the channel if you hate the Green Bay Packers. You can also type FGB in the chat. Subscribe if you can't stand Green Bay. Also, if you want more Chicago Bears news, rumors, live Q&As, live show tomorrow, by the way, normal time, 3 o'clock Central. If you want daily free videos on the Bears, subscribe for that reason as well. But, hey, one thing we can all agree on is that we can't stand the Packers, so subscribe if you agree and type FGB down below. Okay, next up, sign Ryan Bates, offensive lineman out of Buffalo. If you're not familiar with him, we'll talk about him. I'll go 2 smoking Jays on this one as well. We do know the Bears are interested. According to reports, he's supposed to meet with Chicago at some point. this week. Plus, DeBear's blog also has this. He had this note. You know who is the perfect offensive line target for the Bears? Ryan Bates, 25 years old. I think he's a potential star. Ian Cunningham brought him into the league, can play anywhere on the line. Well, I don't know about center, but the point being he's got some versatility, and he finished last season as a starter, and Jeff Hughes of DeBear's blog has proven he's got some sources, and if he says that Buffalo likes him, then I believe him. He finished last year as a starter, started both playoff games for Buffalo, and obviously Chicago needs to add more to this offensive line. I don't think there's any doubt about that. So I think bringing a guy like him in here is interesting. 25 years old, he's young. You got to replace James Daniels. Lucas Patrick looks like he's going to be your starting center. But I think that he's an interesting name to monitor. More on him in a second as well. But shout out to Manscaped and shout out to the Ultra Premium Collection that they just launched in the past couple of months. It's a 5-product package here that includes shampoo and conditioner bottle, a body wash, body spray, deodorant, lip balm as well. And you can get all of this for just $39.99. You get 20% off with promo code BEARS20. Go to manscaped.com, get 20% off with that promo code plus free shipping. Go check out Manscaped. They also have a bunch of other products as well. I've been using the body wash, the shampoo, and conditioner recently. It's been fantastic. Hair has never felt more lush. Manscaped.com, promo code BEARS20. Go ahead and check that out. Okay, you look at the offensive line. You basically don't have a right guard because Lucas Patrick did say at his press conference that he's going to start at center. Now, maybe that changes if they go sign a J.C. Treader or something like that, or draft a Tyler Linderbaum. Who knows? But you need a right guard. You probably need another tackle. I mean, I've heard they're not high on Larry Borum. I don't know how they view Tevin Jenkins. I highly doubt they're both going to start. We'll talk about that a little bit more as well. You need a guard. You need a tackle at least. I mean, you need 2 more offensive linemen between now and the NFL draft as well. I don't think the Bears are done there one bit. Ryan Bates, a guy, I think if you sign him, he would probably plug in and be your starting right guard. Should the Bears sign Ryan Bates? Type S for sign, type P for pass. Sounds like also the a couple of other teams, the Vikings, the Dolphins, a few others are in the mix for him as well. Maybe New England. S for sign, P for pass. Should the Bears sign Ryan Bates? Okay, one more offensive lineman, a guy we've talked about quite a bit. Are the Bears not going to land, not going to sign Terron Armstead? 3 Smoking Jays, it certainly seems to be trending in that direction that he will be heading elsewhere. And that elsewhere could be the Miami Dolphins, as Ian Rapoport reports that Saints free agent target or offensive tackle Terron Armstead flying to South Florida tonight. That was last night, set to meet with the Dolphins tomorrow, which is today now. According to him and Tom Pelissero, one of the top players available in free agency, Armstead would fill a need for Miami. He also added on with this today. Speaking of tackles, could have a conclusion on Terron Armstead today. So, kind of sounds like Miami's pushing hard. I think the Saints are still interested as well. So, I don't know where that leaves Chicago. I certainly understand the hesitation from the Bears, if there is hesitation from Ryan Poles and this staff. We've talked about this a few times now. This is a player that's really good when healthy, but the when healthy part isn't often enough. I mean, he's missed a ton of games over the years. I mean, we can go through the game log again for you guys. Last year, missed more games than he played. Played in 8, missed 9. 2 years prior to that, healthy. If you get 14 or 15 games, you'll run with that with the level of play he gives you. But missed 6 games in 2018. Missed 6 games in 2017 as well. 9 games in 2016 after only playing in 7. Pretty healthy in 15 and 14. 2013 was just a part-time starter, so I don't really factor that in his rookie year. But since he took over as a full-time starter in 2014, he misses around 4 or 5 games a year. I mean, that's a lot of time, guys. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's available about 70% of the time on average. I understand where the Bears are coming from if they don't think he's worth the risk. What I'm also saying, though, is, I mean, guys, we show you this again. You're not close to having a complete offensive line. Now, I trust Ryan Poles. I trust this staff. They're obviously not going to go to war with these 3 guys and, Dieter Eiselen at right guard or Wright at right guard. They're going to add more players, but I also doubt that Tevin Jenkins and Larry Borum are going to be your starting tackles. Ideally, at least one of them is. Hopefully Jenkins, because they traded up for him last year and spent a second-round pick on him. Again, different regime. We don't know how this one feels about him, but I've heard they're not super high on Borum. I've heard that there's mixed opinions on Jenkins as well, and that would be a bummer if he's not a key cog moving forward, considering the investment, the pace regime, certainly made with him. But we'll just have to wait and see how that side of it plays out. We know that the Bears want to get quicker on the offensive line, lighter, and Terron Armstead would fit that. The problem is that he is hurt quite a bit. Should the Bears take the risk and sign Terron Armstead? What do you think? Type Y for yes. Type in for no. I don't think it's going to happen at this point, but let us know what you think about it and what you would do if you were Chicago. Now make sure you guys hit that subscribe button here at Bears Now. More news, rumors, signings, free agency buzz, and of course NFL draft coverage to come. We'll also have our live show tomorrow, 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 Central Time. So turn on those notifications after you subscribe and don't miss any of our coverage. And remember, if you hate the Packers, hit that subscribe button. We'll see you tomorrow here on Bears Now.